education.
Okay, fantastic.
They've completed those, I should say. They've completed those.
And we have here, in Mrs. Zenagoretz, we have our barrel girl, who will be, you know, showing you the screens when we're talking about them. Okay, so just big picture to start off with. Our library management system, commonly called catalogue, is actually, it's called AMLIB, AMLIB, that's the name of it. It is not a cloud-based system, as some, anyway, we'll get to that. So it is actually, the whole program, the learning management system software, is sitting on a dedicated server in the IT area, and we are connected to that dedicated server through a local area network. So it's not wireless, it's blue cord. It's hardwired, it's networked.
And that would be girls in a star topology, because they would all go through there, because they're going through the hardware, so they're connecting all the cables, the Cat5 cables, that would all be connected somewhere to a server, I think, through cables, which would be a star, which would use Ethernet protocol.
Yep.
Okay.
That's exactly right. And so so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terminals. And the program is, the software is, what do I mean? It's individually, manually loaded onto each machine. So onto 6, did I say 6 or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Onto 5 desktops. It's quite an old system. We've had it since 2007. So it's just about used its, reached its use-by date. There are a lot of things that are, better in new systems now. So at any one time, these 5 terminals can be doing the same kind of thing. A lot of it is real-time processing.
So can you explain the real-time, why is it real-time processing?
Yeah. I think I can explain.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have in our this is the sort of the back end. This is, you've seen the OPAC, no doubt, the catalogue that you look up on the screen. What we're seeing here is the kind of back end of it, the administration end. So we have, I guess we have 2. Well, we have more than 2, but let's start with 2 important modules at the moment. We have the borrower module. Oh, well, 3 really. Borrower module, catalogue module, circulation module. Yeah, so they're the 3 important ones. There are others. And they need...
Can you repeat those?
Yes. Borrower module, catalogue module, circulation module.
And just on that, so if there's those 3, do you know what they are? Like in terms of, think about a relational database. So we're running 3 different sections. So it's actually all a relational database, all in the AMLIB. But within that, the relationships that you have between those 3 units, so one's for the borrowers, so the students who are borrowing, that has to be stored in some kind of database that is then connected to the system here, like to see whether that book is on loan or isn't on loan. And then the third, linking that again to another table, I guess in a relational database, would be the circulation.
Yeah. I'll explain that in a minute. We might also write down stock take module. That would be another one. There are others like ordering and that as well, but for your purposes, and you can add on lots of different modules. For your purposes, that maybe the stock take, the 4th one, might be the interesting one. Circulation module, to explain that, well, let's just start from the beginning. Borrowers is obviously a database that has all of the borrower's details in it. ID card, name, house, homeroom address, email address and home address.
And parent contact, I noticed, because
Yes.
something comes up
Yes.
with parents
Yes.
identified. Yeah.
Yes. And a photo ID as well. So all of those borrower details are uploaded from our school database. So it's not, it does actually have the ability for automatic updates, but unfortunately that has never been set up for us. So we have to go to the school database, we do a download of, let's say, Year 12 borrowers or Year 12 students, then we come along to our borrower database and we upload those records. That would be really the first thing we need to do, because without those records, nobody would be able to borrow anything. Nobody would be able to look up anything. You just wouldn't be able to use the other databases.
Sorry, how often do you upload? Because they're extracting the data from the DEMBI database. So they're not linked together, girls, but the DEMBI database that contains all the information about students is manually really updated when the librarians think it's fit. My question is, if a new student, how often, one, and two, if a new student comes in, is that a one-off?
It is a one-off. If a new student comes in, it's a one-off. We get an alert from Community Relations, just like everybody else who maintains various databases around the school, that a new student is coming in Year 10. These are the details. We would manually enter that as a one-off.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the beginning of the year, a bulk upload of new students, so new Year 6s, new Year 7s, new Year 11s, would be done. New teachers as well. But for individual people who come just, when they do, it's just a manual, it's a one-off, one person, one upload. So that's the borrower database. Okay? Now that, because of, we specify what fields we want in that borrower database so that we can actually, so that it's useful for us. You get overdue lists sent to your homeroom. We need to know what homeroom you're in. So all of that, if you have if we need to send a letter home to your parents, it's right there on the screen. So there's a borrower details screen. You can see right there. A filled in one behind, no, that's an issue screen. So we'll do it. Okay, so that's okay.
But for the teachers we don't have, or staff members we don't have address, but yours looks a bit different.
Yeah. So teachers, it's a bit more of a privacy issue, and we don't actually have photographs of teachers
So on that,
either.
sorry, can I just highlight privacy issue? There is a question in here about the privacy. So can you please mention or make reference to the database, the form is actually locked to addressing so that teachers' private details are actually hidden, just in case a student comes in, they don't have access to the teacher's details. So that's the privacy. They lock that section of the form.
And similarly for students as well, there are things that we don't feel we need to have in our borrowers database that would be in the school database as well. So we're pretty, again, just in case that somebody hacks in, and sure, they'll find your email address and your parents' contact detail, but that's it. Your reports and all those other things aren't there. Okay, so we're happy with the borrower database, borrower module. The other important one then is the cataloguing module. And this is where all our resources are. So a resource sort of only exists, if you like, if it's in the catalogue. We sometimes enter resources manually, but very rarely. We go to a third-party database, which we actually call SCIS, SCIS, all capital letters, which stands for Schools Cataloguing Information Service. we have a subscription to them, so we pay an annual fee to be able to use their giant database of virtually every book, e-book, website, audio book, any resource that's likely to be used by a school library has been catalogued by them. And I don't think we need to go into the details around cataloguing, but so we log into their database, we do a search for the records that we want. Say we've got a trolley load of new books. So we take one, we search, we open up the SCIS database, we do a search by ISBN, but up comes the complete, well, almost complete record. We do that for a whole range. Then we upload that batch file into our catalogue module.
So can I just interrupt you there? What's the hardware that you use? Do you have like a scanner?
We
that
do have a
scans?
scanner.
Okay, so we use a scanner, barcode scanner, to actually scan the books, and then that appears in the database, the SCIS.
Yeah, so that we find that in the SCIS database, the Schools Cataloguing Information Service database. We then
Do you like tick it?
Catch it and then import.
Yes,
Catch, import,
yeah.
and you do, say you've got 100 or 200 books, you
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
for the 200 books.
Yeah.
That is the batch processing, because it's not real time. It's not been uploaded instantly. They do the 200 books. Each one gets scanned by the barcode scanner. When they have time, when there's probably no classes here or, it's downtime in the library, that's when they probably import it or upload it, because they're using the systems. They don't want to put too much pressure on
Yeah.
the system.
Okay.
So that's the technical
Yeah, no,
part.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
No, that's what we need. So we would then we've got the bare bones of that catalogue record in there, which looks like that. So you can see we've got lots of, things along the top that we can fiddle with, but we have, authors, we have titles, we have publisher, and we have the subject headings, we have the call number so that you can actually find it on the shelf. And we add a physical description, and we add a whole lot of things. You see I've added here Year 8 reading list, Year 7 quest. Now that allows us to retrieve that data from that catalogue module. So if somebody comes in and says, I want a list of all the Year 8 reading books that are on the Year 8 reading list, we can search on that field and get a list from the catalogue of all the books that are on the Year 8 reading list. So
where it says discuss how the information could be used by management to assist the operations of the library, that's where it fits under. Because they're using that system, they're basically doing a whole search, so they can search the Year 8 reading list. So the data that they're importing, and then they add to that data, they update, maintain that data, then they can go and do a search. So that assists them to say, well, how many books do I actually need? If it's on the Year 8 list, have I ordered enough? Are there enough in stock? So they're using that data to help inform the library staff of the function of how things need to run, what they need to order more in, what they need to order less in, etc.
And of course all that's kind of like complicated librarian speak happening in there, because all of those fields have a certain kind, what we call a mark tag, and so all of those mark tags mean something. And so for instance, just for your information, all of those things that I add as a mark tag number 650. But I hope you know, there's a discovery list for HSC English that you can get from the catalogue, and we use a different tag for that so that it comes out in a different way, if you like. So you can see down there that all in that column there, all those different tags actually mean something, which helps us retrieve the right kind of data.
And you have to use, sorry to interrupt.
No, good.
Proper, there is a proper way of doing it, like punctuation, where you need to put a full stop, where it's comma, where it's semicolon, like it has to be followed.